Okay, if you guys have been watching the channel, you know that every year in NBA 2K, we try to put together different types of teams to see if they could go 82-0 in the game. Now we're in NBA 2K20 and we have our first team that we're going to be seeing if they can go 82-0. And this is kind of a pretty good benchmark on how it's going to be to go 82-0 inside of NBA 2K20. We actually have 10 of the greatest players of all time all on the same team, and we're going to be seeing put together if they could go 82-0. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But how I made this roster is kind of based on my opinion and what a bulk of the NBA fans actually believe are the top 10. And I also chose 2 players per position. Instead of having like 5 centers on the team, we actually have 2 players per position. So starting off right here, we got our team, the Montreal Goats. I actually downloaded this Goats team jerseys, design, and everything like that. Starting off though at point guard, we got Magic Johnson. On our backup point guard position, we have Oscar Robertson. Going over to shooting guard, of course, we got Michael Jordan. And then Kobe Bryant is going to be our backup shooting guard. We got LeBron James starting at small forward, and Larry Bird as our backup small forward. Moving over to power forwards. Now, we only had 1 power forward on this list, and there were so many centers. So we got Wilt Chamberlain and Tim Duncan. Of course, Wilt, one of the greatest players of all time, but since he's a center and we had so many, I actually moved him down to that power forward position, and he actually becomes a 99 overall, whereas normally he's only a 98. And then finally, moving over to our centers, we got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Shaquille O'Neal. Some other players that barely missed out, we had Bill Russell. I don't think he's better than these 4 centers all time, but he was right on the edge of actually making this list. Hakeem was also very close to making the list as well, but we already had so many centers, so we actually had to put in some other players. But that is going to be our roster right there. The rest of the roster is just invisible players, 5'4". They will not be playing during the season at all. It'll just be the starter and the backup playing throughout the season. Leave your comment down below. Do you think they are going to go 82-0 during this NBA season? But let's just hop right into this and find out. Okay, we made it to the end of the season. We got 1 game left, and the team is 80-1. They took 1 loss all season long. These are all-star games, so those aren't actual losses in the season. And I believe it was near the beginning of the season, November 23rd. They lose to the LA Clippers, and out of all teams they could lose to, at least it's somewhat realistic. Kawhi ended up dropping 32 points. I mean, Kawhi, Paul George, you know, they might have locked up some of these guys, and they end up winning, though. So, unfortunately, the team of the 10 greatest players of all time could not go 82-0. They should beat the Nuggets, and they do in that last game there. Giannis ends up getting MVP, Rookie of the Year John Morant, 6-man D'Angelo, Kawhi Defensive Player, Terry Rozier Most Improved, and then our head coach for the team of Goats is going to get Coach of the Year. 81-1. That is so unfortunate. 1 loss. So I don't know what it's going to take to go 82-0 in this NBA season if 10 of the greatest players of all time cannot end up doing it. So of course they're going to get the first seed. They are in the East, and the next best team only had 49 wins. So way behind this team of Goats right there. I want to check out some of the player stats for this team. So Shaq was the lead scorer, 17.5 points per game. I think centers are pretty dominant in this 2K. It's hard to stop a lot of the centers. LeBron had 16, Larry Bird with 15. I mean, these guys all dropped a pretty decent amount of points, the lowest being Tim Duncan with 8.1. So these guys put up some numbers per game. Rebounds per game going to go to Wilt. Shaq was right behind him with 8.2. Assists per game goes to Oscar Robertson. He averaged the double-double, not quite the triple-double. I mean, that's super hard to do on a team like this. Steals per game goes to Jordan. Blocks per game goes to Shaq. Wilt Chamberlain shot the best field goal percentage. 3-point percentage, Tim Duncan. What do you go? 1 for 1 during the season, 100%. Let's actually check that out. yeah, Tim Duncan ends up going 1 for 1 during the NBA season. And we had Larry Bird shooting insane, Kobe. I mean, all these guys shooting insane. They probably got some really good open looks during the season because these teams got to cover a lot of great players. Going over to team stats, they put up almost 140 points per game, and they also allowed less than 100 points per game. So a plus minus of positive 41.9. That is absolutely crazy. 59% from the field goal as a team, 46% from 3. They actually weren't the best free throw shooters though. Makes sense. They got a lot of centers that weren't the best at shooting free throws during their career. Rebounds per game, 61.7, way in the lead. Assists per game, not even close. Wow, that's insane. Over 24 points higher than anybody else. Steals per game at the top, blocks per game at the top. I mean, as you can see, this team is just super dominant. And let's actually just simulate the first round. I'm expecting them to sweep the entire playoffs and only getting one loss to the Clippers. Probably because they're just warming up together. They didn't have their chemistry all the way up. Probably why they lost during the regular season. But the Clippers end up losing to the Warriors in the second round. So it's going to be the GOATs versus the Lakers in the playoffs. And I actually got a... Oh my god, okay, 3-0 for the GOATs right here. I actually wanted to see some footage of this. So we're going to hop into Simcast here and see if the GOATs can pull off this 4-0 sweep in the NBA Finals. And it does look like they're about to do so. This game was pretty close though. The Lakers didn't lose by too much. Let's hop into the game though and catch a little bit of action. We can see these players. So here we go. A nice 11-point win for a 4-0 sweep. We got 2 LeBrons in this game. LeBron not on the court for the GOATs right now, though. Would have been funny to see those two match up. But I mean, just check out this team. Scream with the board. Let's see if we can see them playing some offense right there. This double center thing would have been huge too. And they do have some pretty decent shooters on the team as well. There's Wilt with a nice bucket. So there we go. The NBA champ's going to be the 10 greatest players of all time. What do you guys think it will take to go 82-0? Obviously, we can't use normal players to go 82-0. They win the championship pretty easily. So here they are holding up the trophy, the team of GOATs. Tim Duncan holding that. And Larry Bird is going to be your finals MVP. So there we go. Check this out. AD put up 32 points that game. LeBron with 24. Kareem at 21. How did Larry Bird do there? 14 and 11. So putting up a double-double. Let's check out his actual stats since he did win a finals MVP. And there we go. Larry Bird, 18.2 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, 8.8 assists per game. And he also shot 50-44 from the field, 99 overall. He just did amazing. That's going to be it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and smash that like button. This has been your boy Smequle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the